So, getting a little, got to the store, getting myself a little THC for the afternoon. And I got something cool to show you guys too that I've been working on a little bit, and it's just sort of for fun, but it's car related. I should throw it in on a Sunday thing, but I might one day of how the process works and how I do it. But stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to show you that when we get back home. It's pretty neat, it's pretty fun, and I'm hoping a bunch of you guys watching are going to jump in on the idea and have a good time. THC, Tim Horton coffee, you get it? I want to take this video to talk to you guys about the Project 253 Drive videos. Now, I posted one last week. It was the first one in the series, so if you haven't watched it already, go back and check it out. Oh, wait. So before we get too much into this video series and dig into it, Project 253 Drive is kind of like a little project that I'm doing, and it's not really like, it's not a how-to, it's not an instructional video, it's not a you should be doing this. It's kind of like a little, it's sort of like a diary of thoughts and emotions and spirit, well, like stuff you go through when you're driving and stuff like that. And I'm a huge Initial D fan, so it's kind of based on the parts of that story, So before we dig too deep into the Project 253 Drive thing, I want you guys to kind of take it with a grain of salt. Don't take it too seriously. It's just a little fun project that I'm working on, and it's more or less to practice using different kind of sounds and vibes for emotion and different camera angles and making different things, because if you know I love doing videos. That's what I like, playing around with that stuff, and I got some ideas with some friends to do like an actual TV show, movie kind of thing, sort of style. So this is all just like kind of practice and working on that. So I figured I'd take the opportunity, the chance to film some stuff, and it kind of shows you my sort of thoughts and opinions and that of my crew members, my friends. We kind of show you like what it's like mentally, emotionally, spiritually being a driver and doing different things and trying different things out and learning a car. And potentially it could be like a learn to drive better kind of video, because I kind of want to use my 8.6 to start from square one and take that to the track in stock form. And then when I can drive good enough to handle that car really well, we'll slowly modify it, maybe do suspension, tire setups and stuff like that. Not too much on the power adding, but more on the balance and handling of the car. And then we can move into like moving up. So once I get the 8.6 to be kind of, say, on par with where the RX-7 is, sort of how it is now, and it's sort of almost stock form, well then I can take the step up from the 8.6 and move to the RX-7, and we can do a video series about that, and we're going to go to the racetrack and stuff like that, and I got some friends involved, so this should be kind of cool. So what kind of sparked the idea for doing this was, you guys have been watching, you've seen my buddy Steve that came out. He actually came out to a car show in 2019 with us, and he knew the guys that were involved with the car show. So as a true car guy, there's not a lot of guys I would let drive my cars, but I let Steve drive the 8.6. He drove the 8.6 up to the show. I brought the RX-7 so I could have them both there, because I was supposed to go up with a bunch of guys and they all just they didn't show.
I need you. Hey, Steve, just say hi to the camera and stuff.
Yeah, man, what's going on?
Okay, cool. You have to explain how this thing got here.
So Steve showed up there, and if you're following along, you know that he now has a WRX. He's come here to work on it a few times. We still have a lot to do on it, but it's going to be an ongoing project, part of the video. And Steve and I work at the same place in the city, so we both drive from the countryside where we live, cross the bridge into Montreal, and then we have to deal with all kinds of stuff there, snow removal and stuff like that. But we work really late at night, and we're coming home from the night shift, and we're always driving together, so we're driving through the same conditions. And when conditions get bad, that's when we really have to go, because we work in snow removal and stuff like that. So the times where you're like chilling, saying, nah, it's too dangerous to go out there and drive, that's when we get going and we drive out to the city and back. So he's got an all-wheel drive WRX, and I've got a rear-wheel drive 8.6. Now, I come from drifting and background and stuff like that. I've always been into cars, muscle cars and stuff. So I'm a real solid fan of the rear-wheel drive chassis. It's the reason I bought the car, and I also had the original AE86. So it was fitting, right? It worked. And Steve, I found out from working with him in the city that he aspires to be a car tuner, and he wants to do this stuff for a living and build cool cars and trucks and make them fast and make them work good and function and balance them and just make masterpiece of a machine, right? So we obviously got on the same track with that, and now we get to compare his all-wheel drive turbo car to my rear-wheel drive naturally aspirated car, and we drive them through all kinds of conditions, the worst shit that you can imagine. So it's a good learning experience. We get to learn about the cars. We get to learn how they handle, how different things do whatever, different car setups, different tire setups. We get to experience it all. And not only the car and how it reacts and the performance of the car, but how it feels to drive the car and what you get from it and what you learn from it. And I personally believe that like driving is a spiritual thing, because a lot of guys are very, very passionate about it, and it comes from the inside. It's an art form, you know? So I like to play on that kind of aspect and throw these videos all together. And like I was saying, it's kind of like an opportunity that I can make something kind of cool with different kind of like sounds and feelings, and I can film different shots and different angles and try to get across just some thoughts and ideas and opinions and things that we kind of believe it to be true or whatever. And if you do too, well, comment below. And if you haven't watched the other videos, go watch them and stuff. And I'm rambling now, but it's kind of fun. And the first few videos, we didn't really talk about much of driving and stuff like that, but we talked sort of about driving, but what it's like to connect with the car and the importance of it, and the guys that really feel it, and the different kind of guys that are into cars, you know, like guys prefer to build them and maintain them and put them back to stock and keep them nice like that. And there's some other guys that just like to take them out and endlessly beat on them. And, you know, so there's drivers and there's builders. Some people call it the oil and the gasoline guys, but altogether we're all super passionate about the sport. So if you guys share in the same feelings that you're seeing in these videos fly by and stuff, and you kind of like the idea, well, comment and let me know. Tune in next week too, because every Wednesday is going to be a drive video, I think. We're trying for that. I'm shooting for 4 videos a week for as long as I can hang on to that. And it's super tough, like I was saying before, but I just enjoy doing it. So I'm doing it for the fun of it, and it's great. And if you guys like it, you hit that subscribe button. That helps. And who knows? Make some really cool stuff out of this. Speaking of which, and getting into, before we jump in about I want to talk a bit about the cars, the choices and stuff like that. But before that gets going, I got to run out to the store real soon, because right now we're all on this stupid lockdown thing and curfew. So I got to get out there before everything is shut down and closed and I get arrested for being on the street. But I'm going to start up the car before so while that's warming up, I just wanted to mention another thing too. Like in the next video that you're going to see on Wednesday, there's a part of the video where I'm talking about basically finding the right car, and that you don't need like the top of the line stuff, and that everybody cares about is money spent and all the kind of parts you got on it. It's got to be all name brand, it's got to be all perfect, and people want to see cars built the way that you see in a magazine cover or something like that. But that's not like really important and stuff. And I'm talking about this as I'm showing off like the FD and the 8.6 in that video clip. Now just understand that I worked a long time to get those cars and busted my ass for those things. So it's like I'm saying, it doesn't matter what you drive, even if it's like a $200 Toyota with, you know, missing parts of the fenders and stuff. Now, like I grew up driving I started with a lot of crappy cars, and like, you know, I can even like almost didn't make it to my own graduation because I blew the radiator out of my car racing on the street or just on the way there and stuff. So take it like, don't think it's like some sort of flex or some shit showing off those cars, because it's not really a flex. But those are the cars that I'm working with because I worked my ass off to get those things. Now I wanted an FD my entire life, so like in 2017 finally I just went for it, took the plunge, took out a big fat loan from the bank, to be completely honest with you, and just bought the car, the 8.6. I've been fixing up junkers and everything for a long time, and I had my truck before, the Colorado, for like 11 years and needed a new ride. I decided it was time to buy something new. I've been working for a long time now. I got like 17 years into where I'm working, and I have to drive to work every day. So I figured it was time to get something good with a warranty, something I could trust, something I could rely on, and it's going to get me to work all the time. So I chose the GT86. And the reason I chose that car, it might seem kind of like crazy. Why don't you, like everybody, my parents are trying to talk me into buying like a Chevy Cruze or something like that. But the reality of it is that whatever you buy, like you buy a low end car, whatever it is, it's going to cost you like 20-30 grand anyway. So when I saw the 8.6 and it was a 2017 model, I bought it in 2018. I got a deal on it because it was a couple years old. It had been sitting in the showroom for a long time, and you know how that is. It ends up costing them money, and it's not too cool for them. So I was able to negotiate a deal, and I got the car for a pretty decent price. So I figured if I was going to spend 20 grand or 30 grand or almost 40 grand on something that I'm going to drive to work every day, I might as well get something that I really am going to enjoy. So that's why I chose the 8.6, and that's why I drive it in the winter, and that's why I haven't modified it yet, because number one, I get to learn on a stock platform on a car that's actually pretty well balanced and gets to handle real well. And number two is that it's still got the warranty on it, right? So I don't want to blow that up. If anything does happen to the car, then at least it's covered. Like right now, for example, I got a crazy vibration in the front right, and the back right side, it's got another weird sound, and I'm pretty sure it's a bearing that let out. The car's got a little over 60,000 kilometers on it, so I don't know if that's like a premature wear out or something like that, but it's all covered. Everything on that car is covered except for the pads and the discs. So I should be good to go. This way I figure a reliable car, and it's quick and it's fun, and I'm going to take it to the track. Don't tell Toyota, but I'm going to do it. And then, so that's the reason for those cars. But, you know, I'm almost 40, so like I'm 37, so I put my time in, I did the work, but you got to start somewhere. So for all those guys that are running like a car that's all busted up and you're not too proud of it, well, you know what, just do it, man. Just drive it, deal with it, fix it up if you can, save some money, grind, put in hard work. If there's something you really want and you consistently work towards it, saving your money, working hard, you can do it. I did it, you can do it. And I'm lazy. Well, I was lazy. That's gonna change. Let's go to the store. Before everything closes, we get out of here. Woo, got some crazy music going on there. Sorry about the noise. We got the camera mounted up on the window. So flip the camera around and we're good to go. So I was talking about the cars, the 8.6, and you guys will see in another video that's coming up real soon. Turn this down a bit. That I'm running studded tires on this thing, and I'm starting to think that was a mistake because this winter so far has been extremely mild and we haven't had a lot of ice to deal with. And the problem with the studded tires is that it gives me way less traction on the asphalt, and that's kind of a pain in the ass because you slide around like crazy and trying to get on ramps and off ramps, and I just spun there. I'm barely even trying. This is only an 8.6. It's like bone stock. It's got no guts at all. So this might be the last year I run those studded tires. Steve isn't running studded tires in summertime. I was able to get away from him in the corners because he just got his car, and I have an advantage where I've had this car for a few years now and I know exactly what it's gonna do most of the time, more or less. So now with studded tires, I keep losing it in the corners. I keep breaking loose a little bit. Yeah, winter conditions is like that, but I'm thinking that regular tires is the way to go next time. I ran studded tires on my truck years ago, and that's how I fell in love with it, because it was a super icy winter. The truck was only 2-wheel drive, and the studded tires were excellent for braking and accelerating and getting through shit. I love that truck to death. I drove it to its grave though, so I don't often sell cars. I end up driving them till they're completely finished. Something I'd like to add real quick. You can hear all the noise from the bearing I was just talking about and stuff. This car is super loud, especially on the studded tires. The 8.6 would not be loud on the inside anyway. Shit, I just ran out of road. But yeah, one thing that's kind of cool around here is that I've got a lot of nice back roads and stuff, and basically it's in my backyard, and I get to drive these every day on the way to work. So let me show you a little clip. If you haven't seen them in a lot of it's going to be in the 253 drive videos because it's close to home and it's roads I got to drive through. So when the conditions are kind of crazy, well, it's twisty and windy, so it works out and it's fun. It's not about what you drive, it's how you drive. Actually, this guy doesn't even use his flashers either.
In your city, what do they know you for? In your city, what do they know you for?
Oui, bonjour, un grand café 2-2 s'il vous plaît. Ça va et tout. Merci beaucoup. So, getting a little, got to the store, getting myself coffee. Alright, well, COVID rules, COVID stuff, so I got this mask that makes my face invisible. Yeah, let's get some stuff for the night. Jessie wants a nice bottle of Pepsi for the evening because she's apparently addicted to that, and Red Bull. But we're gonna head home soon. I just wanted to get stuff done before we weren't allowed to, so I'll be right back.
Lifetime hooks and they come in random. From city to city to state to state, I move around and be hands to shake. Handle my business without the delay. Gotta keep taste of the paper phase. And when it
Alright, boys, I'm back. So, errands are taken care of, got everything we need. I'm gonna get back home. Nice, cozy home. Gotta edit these videos and get stuff out to you guys because just having fun. Whoa, alright boys, we're home, so gotta get all this in the house. Shit. Okay, wait. I'm gonna keep recording in a second here. Alright, so back home, back in the shop now, and before we call it quits, I'm gonna show you that fun thing we were talking about, so check this out. What's up? Find me. You know what I'm saying? Now it's my time, red line to the finish. It's Clash of the Titans, adrenaline rush on the streets where you can't trust something you can't touch. So check it out, guys. You can find some of my designs on Forza. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? So look up TC Project 253 on Xbox Live. That's me. We can play online together and stuff. And if you're a fan of the channel, search Project 253 for designs and liveries, whatever they call it. And also the sticker packs or whatever. I do a couple designs and I use that kind of like sort of a chill thing, just hang out and do some designs and stuff. So there's a couple a week, and so let's play some Forza Horizon 4. See you next time, guys. Peace.